Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Instant Trailer Review. I'm JS.
I'm Jeff.
And today we are going to look at the Interstellar teaser trailer. And oh, what a tease it is. So, green band, let's get that out of the way. Okay, interesting stuff up front because we have Paramount and Warner Brothers.
It is really rare to see two major studios both finance a film. Usually one will take foreign and one will take domestic. But this one, if you've done your research, this was all done for a very special deal between Paramount and Warner Brothers, which also included rights to the Friday the 13th franchise and, of course, South Park. So, obviously, there's a lot of trust between these two major studios to exchange that much. And, of course, Christopher Nolan, who's had a great success with Warner Brothers. I mean, this has to be much more than just a pet project.
Yeah.
If they're having two major studios back this.
Right.
So,
I mean, after the Batman trilogy and the huge success that was Inception, everyone wanted a piece of the pie.
It's true.
And so, yeah, I mean, they struck a deal, and it's pretty interesting. We'll see what happens with those other two IPs. Well, let's get into this. Here we have some nice B-roll from Signs. Okay, so we immediately start hearing this Matthew McConaughey voiceover. What are your initial impressions on this?
I love his voice.
Really?
You open up in the middle of a wheat field with his southern accent. He sounds like a farm boy. So he's just this.
Oh yeah,
like,
he definitely fits that.
Yeah.
Impossible. But I get the feeling that I'm watching Harvest of Shame here. Like
or
one of those,
Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah. You know, one of those like old CBS documentaries about corn. And corn actually plays a vital role in the plot of Interstellar. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Okay, for energy or just?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll see some of these scenes. More archival footage. This is when they're breaking the sound barrier.
Right. Well, they did that in the late 40s, early 50s, so.
And of course, when we go up into outer space.
With the Mercury missions, and then we're going to Apollo.
To reach for the stars.
I love that. To reach for the stars.
Well, you know what? Here's the his accent works because he sounds sort of just like Midwest, all-American, good-looking guy talking about this sort of incredible pride the country had doing space travel. I mean, and not to mention a lot of the guys who did go into space were all sort of classic, Midwestern kind of American guys.
Sure, American heroes.
Yeah.
But my main complaint with this is you could put all of this in front of almost any sci-fi film.
Well, that's one thing I will say though. Like all this footage is incredibly fascinating, but it's not from the movie. So it's just. But they are trying to make a correlation between, obviously, America's great achievements in space travel, and of course now that we're kind of going back, as we
sure. And here we start seeing some of the actual.
Well, about a minute and 20 seconds, we actually get into the movie now.
So I mean, he looks pretty sad. I think it's safe to say.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, he's just going for Oscar gold now. If you look at what he's been doing the last couple of years, he's proven himself to be a great actor.
He's on a roll.
He is, and now he's working with Christopher Nolan. So obviously his star is
is he on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yet?
He probably is.
If not yet. He will be.
Yeah. But I love this shot right here. This is such a classic, like almost Spielberg-ish kind of shot.
Spielberg was attached to this project at one point.
For a few years, he was. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it went to Nolan. So.
And then there's the title. Interstellar has father and child are watching a rocket take up.
1 year.
So this teaser trailer came out last week.
The definition of a teaser trailer.
Last week was an incredible week for sci-fi trailers. We
had
Godzilla. Jupiter Ascending, Godzilla, Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
And this as well. And I thought this would be showing before The Hobbit. It didn't show before my screening, which is pretty surprising.
Well, here's the thing, though. Because this trailer, it doesn't... Because since they reveal very little, it doesn't look like it would... Just from this trailer, you can tell it doesn't seem like it would appeal to a big box office sort of sci-fi adventure crowd because it shows very, very little. It's the definition of a teaser.
Sure.
But the whole thing with the footage, I mean, it almost makes it feel like they don't have anything yet because they say, "Oh, we're going to show you archive footage for 2/3 of the trailer and show you nothing of." Then the only thing from the trailer from the movie that shows anything with actual space is just that one rocket ship. Right. Other than that, it's just Matthew McConaughey crying as he leaves the farm.
So on the one hand, I love it when trailers don't give away the plot, and especially second act, third act stuff.
Right.
But on the other hand, you've really given me nothing to be excited about for this movie, other than what I had going in, which is, of course, Christopher Nolan's involvement, and the incredible cast. I mean, let's look at this last page here. We have, okay, Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain,
Ellen Bernstein, Michael Caine. You have almost
Okay.
everybody in this movie is, or at least will be, Matthew McConaughey will eventually be Oscar nominated, Oscar winners. You obviously have, I mean, Christopher Nolan's name alone sells.
Yeah, absolutely.
It obviously sells. So I mean, he practically almost looked like the director of Man of Steel, even though he was only the producer.
Yeah,
So-
and Hans Zimmer's going to be returning to, and it's going to be in theaters and IMAX, I believe, November 7th next year.
So it's, I mean, it's too early to judge. It's still just a teaser, but I mean, it's too hard to judge right now. But I do like the idea, the message they're trying to send, where they're trying to correlate, you know, modern space travel with our classic American roots and, you know, and our desire to explore. So I like the correlation that it's that we're going back to that, but they're just not giving us enough to really judge just yet.
I can appreciate that, but to me, it doesn't look any more than like a Super Bowl commercial, and not necessarily for a movie. So those are our thoughts. What do you think about the Interstellar teaser trailer? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks. I'm JS.
I'm Jeff.
Catch you next time.